This lesson is about naming ionic compounds, but here we are talking about transition metals which will have multiple charges. As you can see from the portion of this periodic table, you can see some transition metal has only one ion. Look at that. Whereas other transition elements normally occur in two or three ionic form. So these are named, even though these are not transition metal, tin and lead, we have to learn how to write the name for these transition metals with multiple charges. So what we are doing here is we are just adding a Roman numeral. So first we will name the metal and then put the specific cation oxidation number in parenthesis in Roman numeral. That means 1, 2, 3, like that. Okay, that is what is called Roman numeral. In parenthesis we will put name the non-metal ion with the same method with the IDE ending. Okay, so let's practice some compounds. For example, iron. Here let's take iron. Okay, Fe2 plus, or it can be Fe3 plus. So they just said in the question iron and chlorine. Okay, so we will try both. So Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus, that is combining with a non-metal ion which is chloride ion. So normal method, we will crisscross the numbers here, and that 2 will go here, and as I said, the 1 we will not write. By default it is 1 here, so we don't write that one. So the formula will be FeCl2. Similar to that, we can see Fe3 plus. So what we will do here is we will put that 3 as a subscript for chlorine, so FeCl3. So how to name it? There is a difference you can notice now, because if you are not putting this Roman numeral, we cannot identify which iron we are using, correct? So, but from the formula it is clear. We can see that there is 2 and there is 3. So we can identify that when you crisscross upwards, you can see that iron is in the bottom one, it is 3 and here it is 2. But from the name, how will you identify? Only by putting the oxidation number in parenthesis. So this is iron 2 and this is iron 3. So we will name it as iron 2 chloride and iron 3 chloride. Okay. So now I am going to give you another example with the copper and same non-metal ion, which is chloride ion. Okay, so copper has, from the periodic table you can see, you don't have to memorize, but it's a good idea if you can memorize. But you will be having this one with you for the test and quizzes. Okay, so and also it will be very clear from the question. In the question it will be indicated whether it is 1 plus or 2 plus, and what will be the charge of that transition metal will be very clear from the question. So you don't have to memorize, but it's a good idea if you can memorize. That's good. And so because this is a chemistry language, right? If you know the language, it's always easy for you to communicate. Okay, so this is copper 2, and so when you crisscross it, the 2 will go as a subscript for chlorine, and we don't write 1, so by default it is 1. So it will be CuCl2 for copper chloride with the oxidation number 2. Whereas for copper with a positive 1 charge, both are plus 1 and negative 1, so it will cancel, so we don't have to crisscross, so the formula will be CuCl. And now the naming. So since we used copper with a charge of 2 here, we will indicate that one in parentheses by putting a Roman numeral 2 here. Okay, and in this case we used 1. In naming we have to indicate that 1. It is not by default, we cannot think that it is 1. So it is copper 1 chloride. That's a method we are naming transition metals. But at the same time, if the transition metal has only one charge, we don't have to indicate because there is no confusion in that case. So let's see one example. Zinc, that is +2 charge, combining with the chlorine with a -1. What we need, we can crisscross that one. So it will be ZnCl2. So while naming what you will write, you will name the metal as such, zinc, and name the non-metal ending in IDE. Just like binary compounds we learned for the main group, this is the exact same method, no difference. Only the difference is when there are multiple charges for the element. Okay, that's clear, I think. Let's practice more.